Hi, I'm Mark Vondrasek, or Doc V as my students tend to call me. I'm a physics teacher here at Evanston Township High School. And this is just a brief little introduction into our Malawi fundraising project that we do annually. This is our fifth year doing it. And it's part of our Empathy project. Empathy standing for Evanston Malawi Partnership Against the Hunger of Youth. And this is something that historically came up back in 2014, 2015 in Malawi, which is a small country in the southern part of Africa, in the sub-Saharan Africa, where they had a bad drought, erratic rainfall, and it led to a collapse of their crop production for the country. Their food inventories, for example, were just exhausted by the time they were going into 2015, and that's when the famine really took hold across the country. Now, Malawi is one of the 10 poorest countries in the world, and they don't have resources, they don't have partnerships or organizations that can come in easily to help feed people. They don't have the infrastructure. And so the children, the school children, were out of school for months at a time. Most of the year they were just out because they literally had to go looking for food for their families. The Malawian president actually had to come on and talk about finding things like roots, eating field mice, locusts as their meals. That's all they really had since the world wasn't helping them. It was a horrible situation. And this would be an example of what a farm field would look like when you have that kind of drought that led to the famine. So I was very fortunate to meet in 2015 Andrew Zinchezi, a rock star teacher from Malawi. And we were talking about this and trying to think of some way that we could prevent this from happening again. Children shouldn't have to be starving ever. No one should ever be starving ever. And missing school for most of an entire year. And so we came up with a model where here in the US, we could raise money, give that money to the teachers on the ground in Malawi, and actually have the schools directly purchase land, plant crops, harvest the crops, and feed the kids throughout the school year. So this is when our Empathy project actually began, about 7 years ago. And since then, each year, each harvest has been producing enough food for 1,500 students, 1,500 kids per year for the entire school year. By raising a few $1,000s here, that's a small fortune in Malawi since the dollar is so strong. And this will pay for land, it's paid for the seed, the fertilizer, the irrigation systems that were installed 2 years ago, tools, pesticides, etc. So what's also really interesting about this, what Andrews and his colleagues have been able to do, is they've built the entire school curriculum around the crops, around the process of farming. Most of the kids will never leave Malawi, and so these are life skills that they just have to have, since most people grow their own food there. As they were doing this, schools from neighboring towns and villages, other parts of the country were coming in and checking out how to do this. And we're very, very enthusiastic and energized by the fact that we have new schools actually developing and taking on this model that we've developed to help their own schools and villages, to help their own kids have enough food. Our donations here have made this happen. Okay, so even small change, small bills, anything like this helps because, again, at $1 here is worth over 800 kwacha, which is their currency over in Malawi. Now, speaking of schools, Andrew sent me these photos from a neighboring village. The villagers build the schools. This is the structure of a school. This is what it looks like when it's done. You can kind of see some kids there sitting on the ground. They don't have desks, furniture. Class sizes could be over 100. They average over 100. And they're basically in little huts like this in many of the villages. So if we can let them buy and buy the land and have crops like this year after year after year, that's something worth doing, and that's what we've been trying to do. This is from, I think, the second harvest as they were bringing the maize in. The maize is one of the staples in Malawi, in that part of the world. They use that to make almost like a porridge, one of their key meals that they give the kids every single day. And this is the end result. Kids aren't going to learn if they're hungry. This is what it's all about in the end. Literally every penny that we collect here in the school will go directly to Andrews. All the transfer fees and everything are paid from outside money. So please, if you can, if you are interested in this, again, small change, if there's spare change, small bills, anything like that is completely useful for this project. So if you want more information, we have a website. There's a GoFundMe site for those who want to donate online. Contact me with any information or any questions or concerns that you might have, and we can make this happen. So thank you so much, and I hope everything is well with you.